we are learning the lesson inheritance and variation. We get mango trees from mango trees, we get cats from cats, so that is the heredity. And all dogs are not similar, all cats are not similar, that is variation. Now the Gregor Johann Mendel is known to be the father of the genetics. His all work is known to be the mendelism, and he put forward three laws or three principles: law of dominance, law of segregation, law of independent assortment. Now in dominance, he told that the one gene is dominant over the other, that is the allele. For example, capital T, small t. So capital T always expresses itself, masking or suppressing the small t phenotypic trait. But as the time passed, the work took momentum, and the other work that was put forward by the other scientists known to be the Neo Mentalism, because the allele or gene, in some cases the expression of the allele is not completely masked, or they have equal dominance, so that all is known to be the Neo Mentalism. Before that, we shall revise certain things. For example, what is backcross? Backcross is the crossing of the hybrid plant with any of the parents to isolate the particular gene. And what is the test cross? Because in F2 generation we get the ratio 3:1, means one homozygous, one two heterozygous, and one again homozygous recessive. So suppose three pea plants are completely tall, so one is homozygous, two are heterozygous, but three are tall. So how to find out which is the homozygous and which is the heterozygous? So we have to cross these F2 plants with the recessive parent only. So test cross is to know the unknown genotype of the F2 generation. What is Neo Mentalism? Neo Mentalism means the post Mendelian work, in which we are going to learn the expression of the alleles. Now you are knowing that there is a intragenic interaction. What is intragenic? Intra means the different genes. So here you are going to learn the incomplete dominance. It occurs between the alleles of the same gene. Example is incomplete dominance, codominance, or the expression of the multiple alleles. Incomplete dominance means what? Both the alleles, they have expression that is partial expression, means one cannot express itself completely, so that is called incomplete. So in the example of Mirabilis jalapa, Mirabilis jalapa is a red flower plant. When it is crossed with white flower plant, the F1 offsprings, we expect them to be in F1 hybrid to be the red, because red is a dominant color. But as the both genes have incomplete dominance, we shall not get the red flower, but we shall get the pink flower. So neither red nor white, that is the pink flower, that is the red gene or white gene, they got their expression partial. See here, we have crossed the red flower plant with the white flower plant. Red flower plant is the dominant, white flower plant is the recessive. So here we have got the hybrid, that is the pink one, and you can see here capital R, that is the dominant character, homozygous condition. Crossed with white, we are using the same letter, small r, because it is the recessive homozygous. We got capital R, small r. It should have been the red according to the Mendel, but due to the partial dominance, we got the pink flower, and the genotype is capital R, small r. Genotypic ratio is 1 red flower, 2 pink flower, and 1 white flower. That is phenotypic ratio as well as genotypic ratio. Now another example of the intragenic interaction is codominance, means equal dominance. In codominance, both the alleles, what is allele? Alleles are the genes. For example, capital T, small t, alternate form of the genes, express themselves equally in F1 hybrid, means both they have the phenotypic expression. Such alleles which are able to express themselves equally independently in hybrid are called codominant alleles. Example, coat color in cattle. Coat color means color of the hair. When red cattle are crossed with white color cattle, we get both colors in the cattle. That is called the roan, R-O-A-N, in F1 hybrid. See here, we have crossed the pure red with pure white. Now F1 hybrid is roan. See, you can see the white patches as well as red patches. See, this cattle is a roan cattle. Now when we carry out the crossing between the roan cow and roan bull, then we shall get 1 red, 2 roan and 1 white in F2 generation. Result, roans have mixture of red and white color hair. Both the traits are expressed equally in F2. Red, that is RR, pure red, roans RW and white WW are produced in 1:2, 2:1 ratio. So codominance means equal dominance. So both the genes express themselves in F1 generation equally. Multiple alleles. What is meant by the multiple? Multiple means many. Now when there is a many form of the genes, is called multiple alleles. How we get the multiple alleles? Because of the mutation. What is mutation? Mutation means sudden change into the genes. So what is gene? You are knowing gene is a segment of the DNA. DNA is a deoxyribose nucleic acid. So the gene, they occupy the particular place on the chromosome. So there can be many forms of the genes called to be the alleles, and good example of the multiple alleles is the blood group. Which are the blood groups? A, B, AB and O. So another example of the multiple alleles we can see in the wild type of the Drosophila. Drosophila is a fly and it has a gene, particular gene Vg plus, that is the normal wing gene. So this gene mutate many times, and due to the mutation we get the dominant recessive relation. We can get here codominance or incomplete dominance. Now here you can see the Drosophila. In Drosophila, Vg plus means normal genes, Vgni means nicked wings, means smaller wings, then Vg no means notched wings, then Vg s, s means strapped, strap means just minute, just like a strip, and only Vg means here no wings. So in Drosophila we get the phenotypes: normal wings, nicked wings, notched wings, strapped wings, and vestigial wings. So here see the alleles are Vg plus, Vgni, Vgno, Vgst, and Vg. So Vg gene has many forms, that is called to be the multiple allelism. So the genes are mutated, and this mutation help in the evolution. So in the course of the evolution you can get different types of the Drosophila. In blood grouping also we get blood group A, blood group B, blood group AB, and blood group O. Intergenic interaction. Intergenic means what? It occurs between the alleles of the different genes present on the same or different chromosome. Here the good example is pleiotropism, polygenes, epistasis, supplementary and complementary genes. In this intergenic interaction, you are knowing that this also occurs due to the mutation in the genes. What is mutation? Sudden change into the genetic pattern. How this mutation takes place? Due to the environmental factors, because according to the changing environment, gene has to adapt, or the organism has to adapt to the changing environment. If the adaptation is lost, there can be lethal effects. Now what is pleiotropy? Pleiotropy means what? When a single gene controls two or more different traits is called pleiotropic gene, and the phenomenon is called pleiotropy or pleiotropism. The pleiotropic ratio or the phenotypic ratio is 1:2 instead of 3:1, as we saw in the monohybrid cross. We obtain the ratio 3:1. Now instead of 3:1 we get 1:2 because of the death of the recessive homozygote. Now example of this pleiotropism is phenylketonuria. Phenylketonuria means what? It is the disease of the brain. Person cannot concentrate. Phenylalanine is an amino acid. When it is formed in the excess quantity in the body, so it has many bad effects in the body. In the syllabus, Cleotropism, you are going to study by the disease called to be the sickle cell anemia. Now you are knowing that red blood corpuscle, function of the red blood corpuscle is to carry the hemoglobin. Now normal gene for the hemoglobin is HBB and HBA. Now any of the chain elongates or becomes short in this HBB or HBA, you get the malformation of the hemoglobin. So the red blood corpuscle becomes sickle cell or crescent shaped. Sickle cell anemia is caused in the recessive pure condition. Heterozygous condition become the carrier. HBB is a normal, HBS is a carrier, and S is the sickle cell anemia gene. So in HBS condition, you will get the sickle cell anemia. What are the symptoms of the sickle cell anemia? There is a lot of pain, there is a kidney trouble, then there can be a death, and oxygen supply is minimized. See here in the picture, you can see the sickle shaped red blood corpuscle. All this is the genotypic disease. This is the autosomal genotypic disease. Chromosomes are of two types, sex chromosome and autosomes, and this is the due to the autosomal recessive condition. You can see here sickle cell anemia carrier, we have crossed with the sickle cell anemia carriers, HB hemoglobin, and the gene is A and gene is S. This is a heterozygous condition, means carrier. When both carrier come together, we get the normal, then two sickle cell trait and one sickle cell anemia. Now carrier shows the normal anemia, but the pure sickle cell condition, that is HBS is fatal disease, fatal anemia. So this is the example of sickle cell anemia. A marriage between two carriers will produce normal carriers and sickle cell in 1:2:1 ratio. So here one will be normal, two will be carrier, and one will be having the sickle cell disease. Sickle cell anemics die leaving carriers and normal in ratio 1:2. Now let us revise certain things. What is Neo Mentalism? Means it is the post-Mendelian work. Post-Mendelian work means what? What we studied according to Mendel, that is allele. Pair of genes, one is dominant, one is recessive. But in Neo Mentalism, both can be dominant and both can be partial dominant. So you have to remember the two words, intragenic interaction and intergenic interaction. Intra means between the allele of the same gene. Example, codominance, incomplete dominance. Intergenic means two different alleles, interaction between two different alleles. Example, pleiotropy. Which example we studied in incomplete dominance? Mirabilis jalapa. In codominance we studied roan color. Roan means mixing of red and white color. Multiple alleles, Drosophila. So allele is a alternate form of the genes, but when there are many forms of the genes. Why this occur? Because of the mutation. What is mutation? Sudden change into the genetic constitution. And in intergenic interaction we study the pleiotropism. Pleiotropism example phenylketonuria and sickle cell anemia. So in the examination there could be a questions. Write note on intragenic interaction with example. Write note on intergenic interaction with example. What is incomplete dominance? What is codominance? Then write note on the multiple alleles and what is pleiotropism. Explain pleiotropism with the example. So these expressions are very easy. Just you have to write the genotypes, then the gametes we have to separate them, and with the practice you will learn many things. So next time we shall study what is chromosome and what is linkage, etc.